The weather plays an important role in St. Louis turf and landscapes, from how much or how little rainfall we receive to how long those triple-digit heat waves last. It takes some work to keep your lawn healthy and green. Jeff Travers, horticulturist, turf expert, and father, says this is because St. Louis lies in the transition zone between warm season and cool season turf.
What you battle with on your forecast, cold, hot, when do the storms come? That's the same thing our turf has to battle with, these wild fluctuations in temperature. So there's a stress placed upon turf because of that. So the combination of weather extremes and clay soils makes growing turf very difficult.
While these wild weather fluctuations make keeping a healthy yard through the summer tough, it's not impossible. There are 4 key components: crabgrass control, proper irrigation, proper mowing height, and a sharp lawnmower blade. Number 1. Crabgrass Preventer typically needs to be applied by April 15th, but thanks to the relatively cool season and late frost, there aren't too many seedlings germinated yet, but it's still essential to get something down.
If you haven't done your crabgrass product, you want to use a product called Dimension. The active ingredient is dithiopyr, and it'll actually kill a small crabgrass plant.
Number 2, proper irrigation. You don't need to water as long as Mother Nature gives us 2 good soakings a week. When it's dry, water 3 times a week, but before 8 a.m. to reduce disease potential. Overwatering is a common mistake. This causes your grass to have a shallow root system, which means it won't be able to handle heat stress come mid-July.
You want to get a rainfall shutoff or a rainfall override switch if you have an irrigation system. There's nothing worse than getting a really good soaking from Mother Nature and then have your irrigation system go on.
Third, mow high.
The most common mistake I see as I drive through subdivisions in the community is people that scalp their grass. And when you mow short, your grass gets stressed. Grass grows from the bottom up, and the growing point needs to be cool. So if you mow high, the growing point at the surface of the soil is cool. Watching your forecast, when you start getting up into those 80 degrees, high 70s, low 80s, that's when I'd want to be at 3.5 inches. And when we get into the 90s, you'd want to be at 4 to 4.5 inches tall.
Fourth, sharpen your lawnmower blade about every 8 weeks and have a backup ready.
If you shatter or tatter the leaf tips, it'll be tore and the plant can't heal. And disease organisms can move in. It's like a main line straight into the plant. If you're mowing with a dull blade, you will spread your disease. You literally will see, if you hit a patch of brown patch, mow through it with a dull blade, you might actually see wheel marks and tracks where the disease has been spread.
One more mistake people make is over-fertilization and improper nitrogen management during the spring and summer months.
A lot of the products you see in the big box stores right now, they have way too much nitrogen for use in the transition zone. They're fine for the south and they're fine for the north, but they're still marketed here in St. Louis. In the springtime, you want your crabgrass product and all your other fertilizers to have below 12% or below on the nitrogen. So this number means 12% nitrogen, 20% phosphorus, 6% potassium. NPK, that's how they do it.
Proper nitrogen management reduces the risk of a lot of brown patch disease that gets bad during the dog days of summer. An organic fertilizer, low in nitrogen and therefore great to use during the summer months, is Milorganite. Wait until the fall to apply fertilizer high in nitrogen.
You want a proper mowing height with a sharp blade, proper irrigation practices, and weed control. Those are the keys.